Today we're going to talk about how you can make a newly acquired business into your portfolio profitable faster, reducing the J-curve. As entrepreneurs and business owners, we know that if we have a clear plan, anything becomes possible. And if you can have a clear plan, a clear process to create that plan, and a way to create clarity with your partner or spouse, you can drive to amazing heights. All right, so I recently invested some time at one of the larger private equity conferences, and I was fascinated. And the main problem I was trying to understand is why do so many private equity and VC firms find it acceptable to have what's called the J-curve? The J-curve says that roughly 60 to 70% of the businesses that are acquired by a private equity firm are worth less over the first 3 years of the acquisition. This was mind-numbing to me, and my head kind of exploded, and I couldn't quite understand and put the blocks together. I realized that certain aspects of how the acquisition happens, the fees, the front-end loading of the debt, that can have an impact. But even then, it shouldn't be that way. And I've bought a lot of businesses, and I've helped a lot of people buy businesses. And what I came to, the conclusion I've come to, is that it actually ends up being almost a communication issue and a lack of collaboration. And here's what I mean. I think that in most cases, the owner-founders are extremely hardworking. They're very compassionate, they're wicked smart, but they aren't very sophisticated. And what I mean is they're not very sophisticated in finance and in more of the corporate approaches. Now, when I was at this conference, I got to watch all these guys in the exact same suits running around with their ankles or their trousers were 2 inches too short and no socks. I just don't quite understand that, but apparently if you go to Stanford or Harvard MBA, that's what you do. And I'm trying to understand, what is the disconnect here? What's happening? And I realized that these people are very hardworking, they're very compassionate, they're smart, and they're very, very sophisticated. They've learned all sorts of language, but they haven't been operators, and therefore they aren't entrepreneurial smart. And what happens is there ends up being this big disconnect. So the entrepreneur gets acquired by the PE firm, and they say, okay, well, you're the PE firm, you have all the money, you guys have the big fancy degrees and names and everything associated with it, you do this all the time, what do we do? Well, the private equity firm then comes in and goes, oh, well, you guys are kind of a little bit on the hillbilly hick side, and you're not really sure what you're doing, you don't understand what all these numbers and metrics mean, so this is what you have to do, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and it almost becomes like an edict from on high. But they aren't having any curiosity on either side. They're waiting for each other. And then eventually those two sides start to clash. And eventually the private equity or the owner-founder's like, you guys are making stupid decisions. Why are you doing this? Well, it's because they've always done things that way. They haven't actually invested the time to figure out, no, what is a different way of doing it? So, and this happens, and there ends up being this internal fight and this strife, and this is why most earnouts don't work out. And then eventually, after 2 to 3 years, a lot of those people are cleared out, or they've learned how to dance and talk with each other, and things work. So, if both and this needs to be led by the PE side, if these people could come in with more a sense of curiosity and say, hey, entrepreneurs, help me understand what is the entrepreneurial legacy knowledge that you guys have, because the legacy knowledge and entrepreneurial thinking and drive is immensely valuable. However, the sophistication and the financial metrics are equally valuable. And when these two sides can actually get together and collaborate, the likelihood of them becoming stronger and getting through the J-curve much faster goes up exponentially. All right, so hopefully you had some value with this. If you did, you got questions on me, let me know. Send me a note. Keep smiling.